Portal Reloaded is Portal 2's newest mod. What separates this mod from others is that you have 3 portals instead of 2, with the third portal being used for time travel. If that sounds complicated, I agree. Let's see if Portal Reloaded is too complex for its own good, or if time travel is just what the Portal series needed. The story starts off with you being chosen to participate in more tests, as every Portal game does. You are a randomly selected test subject given that you are identified by a number instead of a name, and there's thousands of other people in pods waiting to be picked. You're then introduced to the timeline portal that moves you between timelines 20 years in the past or to the present. The present environments are pristine and new, while the past environments are overgrown and parts are destroyed, indicating that the lab has undergone a resurgence in the last 20 years. There's quite a few rules for how the two timelines interact with each other. You can move objects from the past into the future, but not the other way around.
You did it again.
I'm 11, so shut the fuck up.
If a past version of an object is brought to the future, you can't touch or interact with that future object, or the past object will be destroyed.
Aww.
If you move an object in the future, it changes the location of the object in the past, but not the other way around.
Wow.
There's even more rules to think about once you get the portal gun. The portals you placed in the future change the past portal's location to match, but not the other way around. And the time portal's placement will always remain in the same spot regardless of which timeline you're in. Apart from the rules I just mentioned, the past and present environments are actually designed slightly different from one another. The glass in the past is often broken, allowing you to access a piece of the puzzle only found in the past. However, the past also has missing tile pieces for you to put portals on, so you have to account for those in the future timeline. Obviously, the puzzles are solved by using all of these rules to your advantage. The game keeps expanding on these new rules by introducing the environmental elements found from Portal 2. This all sounds really complicated, and you're not wrong, but the game does take the time to teach you all of its rules. Even when you have the portal gun, you're still only allowed to shoot the time portal in predetermined locations for a few more levels. That's all to say the game does a good job at easing you into its complexity before turning you loose. After gaining a basic understanding of all the new rules, I knew Portal Reloaded would be really challenging, but also very rewarding because of that. There's an entire new layer to the gameplay you have to account for with all new rules. The game simplifies all of this complexity with a handy UI element that shows you where your portals and objects are placed in the timeline you're not in, which keeps you from going back and forth between timelines to check over and over. Not only does Portal Reloaded slowly introduce you to its new rules, it also slowly adds in mechanics from Portal 2. Each series of levels structures its puzzles around a particular puzzle element, like the light bridges for example. These new elements get added on top of each other, so by the end of the game you're dealing with tons of puzzle mechanics along with all 3 of your portals. Clearly, Portal Reloaded is focused on its new gameplay mechanic, so I'm not surprised there's not a lot of writing or story. I wish there was more, but considering this game was made by just one guy, I can't really blame him. Your AI narrator has excellent voice acting, though he's mainly there to explain the multitude of new rules and offer encouragement. That's not to say he doesn't have a few humorous moments, though.
If you feel that you have been receiving too many compliments, feel free to ignore the previous statements.
The soundtrack is really subtle, but fits well with the ominous decay and time travel theming. I still wish there were a few really memorable tracks though, similar to the mainline games. Like every Portal game, you'll often walk into a room and be completely stumped as to what to do. Portal Reloaded is no different, but given that your portal gun has 3 portals, there's a lot of experimenting to do. This experimentation helps curb some frustration since you're always coming up with new ideas to try. Then seemingly out of nowhere something will click and you try your tangential idea only for it to work and make you feel like a genius.
Outstanding.
A handful of levels felt like I was banging my head against a wall because I'd be trying things out and not make much progress for a long time, but that's not so much the game's fault as it is mine.
You stupid.
Just know going in that this is by far the hardest Portal game I've played since it was clearly designed for veteran players. Portal Reloaded is the next evolution in Portal gameplay. It takes everything you know from Portal 2 and expands and layers it with a whole other dimension of time. You have to get used to the new rules, which hurts your head in the best possible way. Definitely give this game a shot if you like challenging puzzle games. The only things holding this game back is the lack of humor and plot. Its plot was serviceable and the ending was amazing, but if there was just a little bit more depth and humor, it would have made this a complete package. I still think Portal Stories Mel is my favorite Portal mod because it did feel more complete, but Portal Reloaded beats it out in terms of challenging puzzle design. If you're looking for more Portal content, I'll have my Portal playlist linked in the description. Thanks for watching and be sure to like and subscribe.